So recently I transformed myself into Eren using VFX. And this is how I did it. I started with the storyboarding. So after doing the storyboard, my vision was pretty much clear on how I'm gonna execute my plan. So then it was time to shoot the scenes which I did on storyboard. So first I needed a costume, then a green screen, then a light, and then a good camera. In 2021 during Halloween I cosplayed as Eren, so I already had the costume which my mom made it for me. It was time for a good camera. So I asked my sister for her help because she has iPhone X. Yeah, that's why I asked for her help. Yeah, I needed a good camera. That's why. And now it was time for my very, very expensive green screen setup worth $0.88. So this is how my setup looked like. A green screen. Yeah. That's how I did it. Yeah, and a light. Then we started shooting. Then I started to record myself with the help of my.
Have you ever had a dreams that you had you?
And after that, I recorded myself, and finally, I was happy with the results. I recorded like bunch of videos. So then I fired up my computer, and then I started to sort the good scenes and the bad scenes. The bad scenes goes into the no folder, and the good ones goes into the selected folder. And it was time to work on the first clip, which is the eye color change. As you can remember, when Eren transformed into the Attack Titan, his eye color changes. And that's my reference. I fired up After Effects. I imported the scene, and then I tracked my eyes. And then I added a bunch of effects on it, and then I added more effects, and then I add again more effects, and then more effects. Then I changed the setting of the effects, and then yeah, that's what I pretty much did. And then I was happy with the results. I just rendered it. Yeah. And after doing that, it was time to work on the bigger picture, which is the transformation scene. This is the reference which I took. So after selecting a good clip, I exported it into After Effects, and then I removed its background, and I added a PNG of walls in the background which I found from Google. So I tracked particular points on my body, my shoulder, my neck, my eyes, and then I imported the lighting effect into After Effects, and then I tracked the lighting onto the tracker points, and I even removed the shadow, and I did some color grading, and I added some effects, some final touch, and I just did a little bit of blending, and then finally I was happy with the results. Yeah, that's pretty much what I did here, and it was done. Yeah. And then it was time to work on the hand scene, where there is a cut on my hand and the lighting just. I did the exact same thing here too. I removed the background, I got a PNG from the Google, and then I added it, and then I did some blending, and then I did some tracking, then I added the lighting, and then I did some color grading, added some effects, and it was done once again. The green screen VFX part was done, and finally it was time for Attack Titan. So I got the 3D models from the Google, and then I animated them using MAPPA. So then I imported them into Blender and gave them CG hair. I did the hair particle system. I changed some effects, as you can see. And I did the camera animation. And finally, I was happy with all of the results, so I just rendered it. So I did the exact same thing with Mikasa and Levi Ackerman. Animated them using Mixamo, then added them in Blender, then gave them CG hair, then animated the camera, and then just rendered it. So after doing the animation, the CG hair, it was all set. Finally, it was time to make Shikanshina district. So I got the 3D model of wall and 3D model of Shikanshina houses from Google. I fired up Unreal Engine. So I imported them into Unreal Engine and made the Shikanshina district. So after that, I added some detail, I added some debris, I added some smoke, I added some more debris, and then I added some floor. Then I added another more debris, then I added some grass, then I added wind dynamics with the grass. I had a bunch of details into it so that it would look like it's happening in real time. There's smoke, there's fire, and so many effects I added so to make it look like it's happening. There's a fight going on. So that's the thing which was on my mind, and I did it. But then I had a problem. The texture was not being applied on the wall, so I had to make the walls again. So I fired up Autodesk Maya and I made the 3D model of wall. And then again I imported it into Unreal Engine, and then finally the texture was being applied. So then finally it was time to shoot the scenes. As you can remember, Eren running towards Eren and other cinematic scenes, I did it using Unreal Engine. So this is how I did it. I added a level sequence, then I added the 3D models into the level sequence, then I added the camera, and finally I just animated the camera. So yeah, that's pretty much how I did. After doing the exact same thing for the other scenes, finally it was all ready. But one final element remains, which is the sound. Yeah, the sound. The sound is one of my favorite thing to do. It's the fun part for me. So I fired up DaVinci Resolve. So then I imported all of my perfectly done renders into DaVinci Resolve, and then I added some sound. I gave some effects to the sound, fade in, fade out. Finally merging them all together, I wrote created by your smoker. And finally it was done. So yeah, that's pretty much what I did. Wait, don't forget to like, share and subscribe.
Mikasa, I don't think I'll ever get why you're so attached to the guy, but put your skills to good use. Protect Eren at all costs.
Sir, I intend to.